everyone. Welcome back to Daily Chit-Chat with Gavin and Kate, your cozy English chat of the day. Grab your tea, get comfortable, and today we're talking about something people always ask in conversations.
The classic question. So, what do you like to do?
Yes, hobbies, interests, the things we enjoy or pretend we enjoy.
Because sometimes we have real hobbies, and sometimes we have social hobbies.
Oh yes, the hobbies you mentioned just to sound interesting.
Exactly. So today, we're chatting about how people talk about hobbies naturally in daily life. Nothing formal, nothing textbooky, just real conversation.
Okay, Gavin, let's start with the question everyone asks. What do you do for fun? What's your answer?
Honestly, I panic a little.
Same.
Then I just say something simple like, I like cooking, even though by cooking, I mean putting cheese on everything.
That still counts.
True. So yeah, cooking, walking, watching shows, nothing dramatic.
Very human hobbies. I like reading, walking, and baking, which is true, but sometimes my real hobby is lying on my bed thinking about life.
That is an elite hobby. Highly relatable. There's always that moment where you feel like your hobbies aren't cool enough. Like someone says, I rock climb on weekends, and you're like,
I take naps.
yeah, I sit in cafes pretending to work.
I stare at my plants.
Exactly. But honestly, most people have simple hobbies. You don't need to sound interesting. You are interesting even with quiet hobbies.
And simple hobbies are easy to talk about in English. Walking, reading, cooking, watching things, listening to music, all perfectly good.
Let's do a quick scenario. Someone asks you, so what are you into?
And you don't want to give a long answer. You just want to sound friendly and normal. So you say something like, I'm really into cooking lately. Or, recently, I've been reading more.
Or even simpler, I like spending time outdoors.
It sounds nice, it's true, and the conversation can continue easily.
And if you don't have a strong hobby right now, that's also fine. You can say, I don't have a big hobby at the moment, but I'm exploring.
People love that answer. It sounds open and curious.
Now, let's talk about the funny hobbies, the ones you don't always want to share.
Like watching people clean their houses on YouTube.
Or organizing your fridge for fun.
Or collecting cute stationery you never use.
Guilty.
Same. But honestly, sharing those weird little hobbies is great. People usually laugh and say, oh my God, me too.
It actually makes conversations feel warmer and more real.
Because everyone has a slightly chaotic hobby.
Or a hobby that's not a hobby, like scrolling endlessly.
A hobby that lasts 3 hours but feels like 5 minutes.
Another part of hobby conversations is reacting to someone else's hobby. Like if someone says, I love painting, you don't need to say, wow, amazing, teach me.
You can just say something simple like, that sounds really relaxing. Or, nice, how did you get into that?
Exactly. Keep it light. You don't need to know anything about their hobby. You're just showing interest.
And you can connect your hobby too. Like, I'm not good at drawing, but I love creative things.
Or, I've always wanted to try that, even if you don't actually plan to try.
Yes, that's called polite pretending.
A useful life skill.
You know, there's also that moment when someone tells you their hobby and you have absolutely no idea what it means. Like they say, I'm into bouldering, and you're just standing there thinking, is that climbing or gardening or a type of bread?
Yes, and you're too embarrassed to ask because you feel like everyone else in the world already knows.
So you just smile and say, "Oh, wow, that's cool," hoping they don't ask follow-up questions.
Sometimes they do ask, though, do you climb too? And then you have to be like, only emotionally?
Honestly, people worry too much about sounding knowledgeable. Most hobbies are niche. Most people don't know everything. And it's perfectly fine to not understand someone else's passion.
And sometimes their hobby sounds scary. Like when someone says, I run marathons. My brain immediately goes, I walk to the kitchen. That is my marathon.
Exactly. But you can still respond politely and naturally, something like, "That sounds impressive," or "Wow, good for you." Even if inside you're thinking, "I could never survive that."
And sometimes you meet someone with a hobby you do understand, and you suddenly become best friends. Like someone says, I love trying new cafes. And instantly, you're like, yes, my people.
Cafe people find each other. It's a universal law.
But the funniest part is when someone asks about your hobbies and you suddenly forget everything you've ever enjoyed in your entire life.
Yes, the moment someone asks, "What do you like to do?" your brain goes completely blank. Suddenly, you've never had fun before. You've never touched a hobby. Your whole life is a mystery.
Your mind is like, what do I like? Uh, breathing?
Drinking water sometimes.
But that's why it helps to have one or two easy hobbies you can always mention. Reading, walking, watching movies, cooking. They're simple, true, and they keep the conversation going.
And honestly, the point of talking about hobbies isn't to impress people. It's just to show a little piece of your personality.
Exactly. It's not an exam. It's just a way to connect.
Let's talk about new hobby energy. You know when you start a new hobby and for the first 3 days you think you're going to change your entire personality?
Yes, new hobby energy is like, "I'm going to be a painter now. I'm a gym person. I crochet. I'm artistic now."
And then 5 days later, you forget the hobby exists.
But that's the fun of it. Trying something new gives you a mini life refresh.
So if someone asks about hobbies, you can also talk about things you're trying. I'm trying to get into yoga. I started learning guitar, very slowly. I'm experimenting with baking.
People love hearing about beginner level hobbies. It's cute and relatable.
Okay, now my favorite category. Hobbies that don't sound like hobbies, but totally are.
Like what?
Like taking long grocery store walks,
That is a hobby.
or rearranging your apps on your phone.
Also a hobby.
Or my true hobby, reading reviews of things I will never buy.
Wow, powerful hobby.
Thank you.
And these are great conversation hobbies. You can say things like, "I love organizing things." "I enjoy finding new cafes." "I like exploring little everyday routines."
Simple, real, easy to talk about.
And that's our chat for today. Talking about hobbies doesn't need to be complicated, and your hobby doesn't need to be impressive.
If it makes you happy, it's a hobby. Even if the hobby is taking naps with passion.
Tell us in the comments, what's your hobby? Real ones, fake ones, weird ones, we love them all.
Come back next time for another cozy English conversation.
Bye!